Eternity's Shadow by E. Thomas Canton. Copyright 2024 E. Thomas Canton. All rights reserved. No part of this book may be reproduced or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic or mechanical, including photocopy, recording, or by any information storage and retrieval system, without written consent from the publisher. Credits. Voices by MURF.com. Sound effects from www.freesoundslibrary.com. And additional sound effects from www.zapsplat.com and pixabay.com. Music by www.zapsplat.com and IB Audio. Beyond the walls of the great city, on the plains of Elsincourt, two armies will assemble, their blood to rain upon the land. The black sun will die unheralded, but by a few. And the one who was two will perish in fire. Preface. I may already be dead. This is no mere drama to heighten your curiosity. In fact, it's quite possible. I don't know which Earth I'll be traveling to next, but we know there'll be danger waiting for us. I say, us for a reason. It's the reason that I've had this book published on as many Earths as possible. You need to know who saved your life without you ever knowing it. I had been her confederate in arms during her adventures in the Omniverse, and stand witness to her courage, compassion, and her tenacity, so it falls on me to tell you her story. I admired Brooke. She lived an extraordinary life. Brilliant beyond reason. Eccentric. Despite tactical setbacks and personal losses, Brooke never once surrendered to the blackness until it consumed her. History soon forgets those who blow with the prevailing wind. Instead, it remembers those who stand fast against it. And time honors only the bold and visionary. And so it will be with Brooke. As the chronicler of our experiences in the multiverse, I must thank Brooke for finding my journal. She filled the gaps in the narrative where I had not been present. We had become separated for several years, so much of what we write here is from Brooke's point of view. My major contribution to this volume came as an editor. The previous edition caused some confusion regarding the subject of time. To explain, each Earth has its own means to mark moments passing, and not all measurements represent the same span of time. For clarity, in this edition, whenever we mention time, it will be in relation to our home Earth. It's how Brooke and I remain consistent in our workings. Therefore, I eliminated all references to dates and time from this edition of my journal in favor of narrative flow. In addition, this edition has sections to make clear from whose point of view the narrative is being told. My view of events should be given no more importance than Brooke's. They are both valid. To be honest, I must admit to some amusement by our different takes on our budding friendship. Maximilian Nilsson, former Deputy Minister of Science. In exile. Prologue. Our steps grew heavy as we carried Brooke's body along the dirt road. Still 10 years from its death, the world had already acquired a ghostly pallor. Unrelenting quiet enshrouded us as if the fog had suffocated every creak and moan on Earth. The dampness penetrated my jacket, chilling my bones as we stepped onto the wooden rusty iron of the decrepit Vatican Street Bridge. The old, skeletal railway crossing had long since decayed into disuse and disrepair, and now rotted like its promises of prosperity. "I know this place," my partner said, as if speaking any louder would stir the dead. We carried her to the center of the bridge over the river, and heaved her to the top of the black iron fence that ran its length, exhausting our remaining strength. Our eyes gazed off into the silence behind us. The wait wasn't long. His ethereal chanting floated ahead of him through the chill night air. The monk appeared apparition-like out of the mist as he walked along the ragged shoreline. My accomplice turned in my direction. With nothing more than a single look, we pushed Brooke over the edge. I distracted myself from the sight of her body plummeting into the river below by concentrating on the view of the city. As I looked west along the rail tracks, I saw the lights of downtown shimmering through the mist, giving that nightmare of concrete a beautiful, haunted look. Did I feel regret? As I watched the city lights flickering, I strained to remember how many times I wished the city, and the entire world, would burn. I never thought it actually would. The current took Brooke's body to the nearby shore as I watched. My friend snapped us out of our unwarranted nostalgia and said, "Come on. We're running out of time." We fled from the bridge. I turned to see her body tossed ashore like so much flotsam the river discarded. I wouldn't discover until much later that her sad, uncomprehending eyes had awakened. The monk would have discovered her by now, and he would see that she received medical attention. I wouldn't meet Brooke for another 10 years, and then it would only be in the final hour.